UX designers have a lot on their plate. Between research, wireframes, user tests, the list goes on and on. And if you're new to the game, this can all feel very overwhelming. Well, throw that fear out the window because we're about to embark on a journey through the 6 stages of the UX design process. Before starting any successful UX project, you'll need to be in tune with 2 things: your user and your brand. Let's start with the user. The big question around this is, what problems are they facing? Once you can identify the problems, then you can begin to start working towards the solutions. Second is understanding the brand. How does the project you're working on align with the brand's mission and goals? To summarize, in this stage, you want to identify the problems facing the users as well as the core goals of the brand and see how they align. As a designer, you probably have a ton of assumptions about what the user wants or doesn't want in a design. But not challenging those assumptions can leave you in a hole that's too deep to dig yourself out of. One-on-one interviews, focus groups, surveys, and usability tests are just a few methods to help vet your assumptions and base them on real, tangible evidence. And keep in mind, you don't need to survey 1 million users. A good rule of thumb is finding 3 to 5 users in your target audience. It'll save you time and typically give you as much data as you need to move forward with your project. Now that you've done your research, you can take all that data and start working with it. One way to lay out your research visually is with a user persona. Personas will act as a guide when it comes to making all of your design decisions. If you ever get stuck, you can always look back to the persona to figure out the user's needs. And if you need a wider view of the big picture journey that your users take, try a user journey map. Creating a user journey map can help you understand what the users will be going through when they interact with your product or service. This can give great insight on pain points and how to restructure them before moving into the next stage. In this stage, you'll actually build out the design. You'll create things like sitemaps, user flows, mockups, and other visuals. But one of the most valuable things you can create at this stage is a wireframe. A wireframe is a low-fidelity representation of your product. Some designers even use them as prototypes. You most likely won't land on your ideal product after one wireframe sketch, so grab your sketchbook, a pencil, and a large cup of coffee because it's going to be a long night. In the end, the wireframes should convey the overall direction and description of the user interface. Okay, so after designing, redesigning, and then redesigning some more, you'll start collaborating with your development team to turn your carefully crafted designs into a real working product. All while keeping a good cadence of check-ins and feedback along the way because UX is really everyone's job, and it only gets better with collaboration. Once the product launches, it's time for another round of analysis. But this time, you'll want to ask yourself and your team questions like, where did our process go right? Where did we struggle? How are the users responding to the product? Did we solve their issues and pain points? With a solid round of reflection, you'll gain invaluable knowledge that you can leverage to make sure future projects run even more smoothly. And that brings us to the end of our journey. Now you have an idea of what it takes to be a UX designer and hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable when jumping into a new UX position. But keep in mind that every UX design process is going to be unique to your business and product. See you next time.